Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now. This morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dua Srar.
I'm Derek Sibley.
It is October 5th, 2023. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy pre-Friday.
Happy pre-Friday. We accidentally said it was October 4th.
Yeah, our bad.
In the first hour, just making the week longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, why'd you do that, Dua?
I don't
Gosh,
know.
You're the one
I
that said
don't
it
know.
first, and I just went alongside and agreed with her on
See,
that. Oh, silly me.
You should have been a true journalist, questioned my every move.
I'm a meteorologist, not a journalist. But
You work in the news industry. Still
I do.
applies.
Yeah,
Still
okay,
applies.
sure.
It's always good to be curious.
I guess
Anyway,
so.
well, speaking about things happening today, the weather this morning, getting into work, very cool. Had to turn on the heat. The leaves,
You use the heater?
I use the heat.
Oh, man.
I get very cold very quick.
Yeah, I don't
so-
blame you on that. Yeah, I get it.
Especially at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I mean, it does get cool.
It does get cool.
And speaking of that, we got another front moving in today.
Man.
So yeah, we got another cool down coming. So get ready for tomorrow and this weekend. You'll feel the difference there. But we're just watching a few clouds that's moving into the Coulee region this morning. But other than that, here's a look at those current temperatures. We're in the 50s for the most part. There are some much colder exceptions though. Sparta and Black River Falls, the typical cool spots though, at 39 degrees, 52 in La Crosse, 51 now in Eau Claire. Here's a look at that planner. Maybe just a few passing clouds for the morning. Temperatures in the 50s starting at 7, and then we warm up into the 60s as we progress throughout the day. This afternoon, looking at those highs, upper 60s to low 70s with lots of sun. I think today is a nice day here for the dog walking. Mostly clear to start. Lots of sun for the afternoon. Mostly sunny here as we head into this evening. A check now on your allergy report. The ragweed is low for today and tomorrow. Weed is also low today and tomorrow. The mold, though, is much more different on the high side still for today and once again tomorrow. I'll have a check on that schoolcast coming up in just a bit, and we'll also take a look at that full weather forecast. We got some rain chances this weekend, or not this weekend, tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit as well. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The investigation into the Chippewa County Sheriff centered on a harassment complaint from a now former employee. The investigation also found that Sheriff Hakes has routinely displayed a lack of integrity in his role. A former employee filed a complaint against him this summer, claiming he sent inappropriate and unwanted messages to her. The report has pages of message screenshots. During one conversation about birds, Hakes texted the woman, "I think you'd be the best person for the job." The former employee said this text from Hakes started making her uncomfortable. Quote, "Remember when I said I know spots to relax? This is my yard." Hakes has said he was only trying to be welcoming to a new employee. He also said on social media he was never aware of a complaint filed against him, but a county official says Hakes was notified 6 separate times about it. The report also details claims from other department members and county officials that the sheriff is, quote, in over his head, and that the chief deputy is the one really running the sheriff's office. The report also found instances of Hakes conducting his private real estate and gun businesses during his sheriff hours. The suspect behind an Eau Claire bank robbery is now in custody. 25-year-old Maxwell Lubeck has been taken into custody by the Wisconsin State Patrol. On Tuesday, police released photos of the armed robber at Wisconsin Credit Union. Police say Lubeck entered the credit union with a handgun and demanded money from employees. Police released the warrant for Lubeck's arrest a little after 11 yesterday morning. He was arrested by State Patrol on Highway 53 near Superior about 30 minutes later. La Crosse nonprofit Tellurian Behavior Health has recently proposed they want to open a second location, but some area residents are raising concerns. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall has the story.
Deb Glazer has lived off Jackson Street for 33 years. She has never been so concerned.
First, it was just that initial shock of, oh my gosh, my property value is going to go take a plunge.
The 62-year-old lives next to where Tellurian Behavior Health wants to open its second location.
I'm also afraid of the transient nature, people coming and going all day long. When they come, they are probably usually brought by the police, I understand. And in our alley, we have kids walking back and forth. They walk in the morning and after school. So I feel that's not good for kids to see.
Its original space is off of Mormon Coulee Road. The second location will be a short-term, smaller facility in this vacant dental office. Only 5 employees would be on site during the day and up to 3 at night. Lori Scared Jensen's grandchildren visit often. Having the facility in a residential area worries her.
They're coming in crisis. We just felt that the neighborhood was a lot safer, and we're not used to having that kind of activity in our area.
Tellurian says patients will be pre-screened and scanned with an electric wand before entering. A maximum of 8 clients will be allowed, and only 6 can stay overnight. Neighbors are still worried about traffic in this alleyway and altercations in the street.
A lot of people go into crisis in the evenings, and that's when they're only going to have 2 people on. The activity, once they're in the alley, what do they do? Where do they go? That concerns us.
There's still more to be done.
City Council will vote to approve the new location on October 12th. If approved, Tellurian hopes to open its Johnson Street location by March. Tellurian's second location would also have no walk-ins. Clients must be taken there by law enforcement or mobile crisis units. Well, one of the most difficult things a parent may have to go through is losing a child, and one group of parents who have all lost children of their own want to help provide a place for other parents to quietly grieve and remember those they've lost at Chaseburg Village Park. Last night, A Place for Angels held a fundraiser at the Sit-in Pretty Farm in Viroqua to not only help provide financial support for the project, but also to help spread awareness of the new space. The organization's founder says the new space will help memorialize children and provide parents with a quiet place to remember them.
When you lose a child, you really need to have some place to go and be at peace, and just have a quiet spot to go.
The group plans on having another fundraiser Saturday at the Snowflake Ski Club. Break the stigma. It's what Gunderson Health System wants to do during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence cases are more common than we might think. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men go through severe physical violence from a partner. That's according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. A Gunderson Crime Victim Services manager says sometimes victims feel too ashamed about their situation to reach out for help. They say raising awareness could help inspire those people to not feel ashamed. She adds other loved ones play a delicate role. Abusers usually try to isolate their partner from other loved ones. Experts say it's important to know how to approach someone who might be in a difficult situation.
Somebody you love is experiencing this. It's not helpful to say, if you don't leave, we can't be friends, or I can't support you. That's ultimately exactly what that abuser needs to kind of continue what they're doing.
If you need help, you can call 211 to get connected with important services. Other organizations like New Horizons in La Crosse County also offer victim services. We have more information on our digital platforms. A La Crosse favorite is saying goodbye for now. Rudy's Drive-In is closing for the winter months.
We had a great season. It was a good summer, nice warm summer, great weather, and we had a good year overall.
Owner Justin Smith says they use this time to do repairs and take time off to spend with their families. Rudy's closes today, so make sure to stop by for a hot dog or a root beer float before it's too late. The drive-in will reopen in mid-March after the snow melts. Spring Grove schools are looking for some additional funding. The school district is asking voters to approve 2 referendum questions on November 7th. The first question asks for $12 million to improve heating, ventilation, windows, and the roof of the school building. The second question asks for $4 million to build a new tech education lab. The second question depends on the first question passing. The school superintendent says they are asking for money now because the community has indicated they would support the projects. There will be 2 informational sessions in October. We have that information on our website, news8000.com. A reminder that this is the 4th day of La Crosse's Week Without Driving Challenge. The challenge raises awareness for people that don't have the option of driving. Today, you can get a free ride on SMRT buses. You can also get 1 free hour on a drift cycle bike using the code WWD2023. Well, still ahead on your morning news, the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history is underway in several states. News 8 Now will look at what's behind the Kaiser Permanente strike and what workers are asking for. And there's a new group of furniture makers that's putting a whole new meaning on the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure. We'll take a look at how they're turning salvaged fallen logs into valuable pieces of furniture. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Many of us have had a teacher who made a significant impact on our life. Whoever that teacher might be, take a moment to thank them. Today, October 5th, we observe World Teachers Day. The holiday was established in 1994 to honor educators around the globe. This year's celebrations are dedicated to advocating for teacher appreciation, which is more relevant than ever in the face of the ongoing global teacher shortage. Just a heads up for you coffee drinkers, Dunkin' Donuts is offering all teachers a free cup of coffee today. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Watching just a few passing clouds moving into the Coulee region from the west this morning, but other than that, things are definitely on the quiet side with temperatures into mainly the 50s, 52 degrees now in La Crosse and 51 in Eau Claire. But if you're anywhere from Black River Falls also into Sparta, you're looking much colder than the rest of us, into the upper 30s to low 40s though. Heading out the door here this afternoon, we're going to be looking at high temperatures into the low 70s in La Crosse County today. Definitely feeling a little on the cooler side compared to yesterday, and the same can be said across our southern communities today, with highs into those upper 60s to low 70s. 68 today in Black River Falls, 69 from Blair, Melrose down into Trempealeau, and even north into Whitehall. Osseo a little cooler, 67 will be your high temperature today. 67 as well into Eau Claire. Highs mainly into the mid-60s across much of our northern zones in the Chippewa Valley. So as we head off to school this morning, mostly clear skies, temperatures at 53 on the way back home for dismissal. This afternoon, we're looking mostly sunny with temperatures at around 68 degrees. Now stay tuned. I'll have another check on that full weather forecast in a few minutes. We'll talk about some upcoming rain chances for tomorrow.
In your consumer news this morning, more than 75,000 workers have begun the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history. The strike follows failed negotiations between healthcare company Kaiser Permanente and unionized workers, including nurses and EMTs. The union wants pay increases, job protections, and fixes for staffing shortages. The majority of those on strike work in western states such as California and Washington. X, the company formerly known as Twitter, is announcing another change. Users will no longer see article headlines when using the platform. The reason? The site and app will no longer show them. That means articles viewed on X may suffer from a lack of context. The change means that news media and publishers will have to adjust how they share content on X. According to X CEO Elon Musk, the change will, quote, greatly improve aesthetics. Google is making a big push into AI with its new line of phones, the Pixel 8 smartphone series. These phones have built-in AI, allowing them to perform tasks like summarizing news articles for users. Google is also adding AI capabilities to its photo and video tools. While the Pixel 8's hardware is similar to previous generations, it will have a brighter display and longer-lasting battery. It's significantly cheaper than the new iPhone, selling around $700. As severe storms batter cities across the country, the debris left behind can often be overlooked as trash. Now there's a growing movement to salvage fallen trees and logs and turn them into lifelong pieces of woodwork with a story. Skylar Henry visits the Maryland company digging up and sanding down the buried treasure.
After stormy weather barrels through parts of Maryland, John Ferrara's crew isn't too far behind.
These are the ones that were down in the woods that fell over in the storm. That were in the back.
What started as a side hustle with his best friend Paul Timmons has turned into the Cambium Carbon Company. The company saves trees from landfills by partnering with architects, cities, and businesses, salvaging toppled timber and turning it into sustainable pieces using what they call carbon smartwood.
It's like Christmas every time you cut one of these things open. You have no idea what you're going to get.
Cambium has one of the largest non-commercial sawmills on the East Coast. With it, the company handles logs most others can't, off of size alone. After After the process of power washing and cutting through trees that often measure more than 20 feet, the lumber is off to dry.
This is part of the drying process, right?
Correct, yeah. So this is a kiln that's actually taking the last bit of moisture out of the board.
From there, the stories under the bark unfold.
A lot of times that material is viewed as a defect, and we really like to turn that narrative around and be able to educate people that it's actually something to celebrate and something to enjoy.
Through word of mouth, their mission is picking up steam. They've partnered with cities and towns from Eugene, Oregon to New York City, teaching local operations sustainable wood management and turning what was into this. Everything from tables and chairs to signage and even art.
All of that carbon is going back into the atmosphere. If we're able to stop that from occurring, and we're putting it into lumber, which can make flooring or tables or furniture, we're actually able to harness that carbon.
Creating carbon negative products and environmentally positive solutions.
The group at Cambium says their business is growing quickly and they're emphasizing only using fallen trees and debris and not healthy ones that might be clear cut. The company uses a percentage of its profits to plant trees in the local communities where they salvage logs. Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Duo. We are looking at mainly clear skies to start us off this morning. City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse off to a quiet start. Temperatures are at 52 degrees. Notice the wind speed's much calmer this morning, unlike yesterday when it was a little bit on the breezy side. Right now we're looking at 3-mile-per-hour winds coming up from the south. So as we take a look at Eau Claire, you're currently looking clear as well this morning. Temperatures are at 51. South-southwest winds also light here at around 5 miles an hour. But there are some clouds back towards the west that are beginning to move in our general direction. But other than that, things are looking pretty dry and quiet for the most part. We're on the back side of this cold front, which is now positioned to our east. This was the same front that moved through yesterday. That brought us a little bit of a cool down for us to work with today. And you could see the associated cloud cover and rain showers that we were dealing with yesterday, more so in the form of clouds, back towards the east. Our next system is back towards the west of us. It's another cold front associated with a low pressure system. And this is our next front that's going to be moving into our area later today, and that will bring us even more of a bigger cool down for us to work with as we head into the end of this work week and also this weekend. You'll notice that here, but I'll talk about it a little bit later. 67 degrees, lots of sun at noon today, and then by 4 o'clock, 70 and sunny, 60 degrees, clear skies. Couldn't have asked for a much better perfect night in the forecast, at least for the early evening. Here's a look at those forecast highs today. On the comfortable side, upper 60s and some spots like La Crosse today, looking at a high of 70 degrees come this afternoon. So this next front is going to continue to work its way east. I think it should clear the Coulee region as we head into the early noon hour today. And then on the back side of it, we're just looking at some clouds possibly moving into the area from the west. Maybe a slight chance of a shower possible near the Chippewa Valley and portions of northern Wisconsin, with a few clouds, a slight chance of a shower possible mainly to the north for portions of the area heading into tonight. And then as we take you into tomorrow morning, those clouds may increase here a little bit. I think we see some showers, but should be mainly focused to the north and west. However, that precipitation is going to continue to move its way down to the south, and we could be looking at some rain showers moving into the area as we head into tomorrow afternoon before clearing out of here as we head into tomorrow evening, with just some leftover clouds there in the wake of that, and a couple of clouds lasting as we head into tomorrow night. Now, as we take you into Saturday, we may see a couple of light showers across portions of our eastern communities, but the cloud cover back to the west will only increase and spread across the area heading into Saturday night. Maybe some rain showers develop for portions of our western communities into Saturday night as well. We'll keep our eyes on that. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast. So after we get through a bit of a wet and cool day tomorrow, it will be turning drier this weekend with some passing cloud cover on Saturday and Sunday. Highs into the upper 50s through early next week on Monday, and then we start to see temperatures warm up into the 60s for the highs starting Tuesday. Low temperatures in the 30s and 40s. All right, stay tuned. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending in a break with a look what happened on this day in history for October 5th. We'll be right back.
We've made it to the sectional round of the high school girls tennis playoffs. Just one more hurdle to climb. These ladies want to punch their ticket to the state tournament in Madison. We'll open the show in Division II, Section 3, with the Blue Gold serving as the host team at Green Island yesterday morning. Let's start with Aquinas senior Danica Silcox, looking to become a 4-time state qualifier. She was on a mission in the first round against Watertown Luther Prep's Allie Olson. Silcox gets some help from the net. She dominates the first set 6-love. Second set, same story. Beautiful return from the senior. Silcox rolling in this one. And check out this rally. Both girls giving it their all. But in the end, it's Silcox moving on. The senior finishing second overall. That's good enough for a 4th straight trip to the state tournament. Staying in Flight 1, West Salem's Megan Johnson looking to do the same. She was taking on Jefferson's Amy Kamenik in the first round. Johnson comes out strong. Look at this rally from the Panthers junior. Pretty touch on the return. Johnson takes the first 6-2. She keeps it going in the second set. Johnson finishes 3rd overall, and the junior will be heading to Madison next week for the state tourney. Let's go to Flight 2. Luther's Michaela Bolt comes out on top in her semifinal match. Bolt advancing to the championship round, but Aquinas' Kate Fortney brought her A game yesterday. The junior was in a battle in the semifinal round against Edgewood's Katie Coles, but Fortney finds a way. She wins it 7-5, 6-3, and then in the championship round, it's Fortney getting the best of Bolt. She wins it in straight sets, and the Blue Golds junior punches her ticket to Madison next week for the individual state tournament. Now this is awesome. Area bodybuilding star Fiona Daniels continues to shine on the professional stage, and Daniels adding some more hardware over the weekend at the Natural Viking Classic in Bloomington, Minnesota. Daniels taking first place in the teen bikini division. She also took first place in the adaptive teen physique division. 2 more first place trophies for Daniels as she continues her impressive pro bodybuilding career. Do or die for the Brewers last night in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series. The Bats, hot at the very start. They get to D-backs ace Zach Gallen in the first. Already 1-0 Crew. Here comes another. Thanks to Willie Adames. Carlos Santana makes it 2-0 Brewers. Here comes Arizona in the 5th. Alec Thomas takes Freddie Peralta deep to right. That gets over the wall for a solo shot. Cuts the deficit in half. It's 2-1. 6th inning now. D-backs doing some more damage. Ketel Marte goes back up the box for a base hit. That's going to score a pair to put Arizona in front. Diamondbacks score 4 runs in the inning. That was more than enough. Brewers come up short again at home. They get swept 2-0. Their season comes to an end in the wild card round. Twins looking to make it 2 straight over the Blue Jays in advance to the ALDS in the 4th. Carlos Correa comes through. He finds a hole on the left side. Royce Lewis comes in to score on the RBI single. That makes it 1-0 Twins. Then later in the inning, Minnesota adding to it. Willie Castro is going to ground into the double play, but the Twins tack on another and take a 2-0 lead. Let's go to the 6th now. Blue Jays load the bases, but the Twins are going to get out of it. They turn 2. Correa starts the 6-4-3 double play. Crisis avoided, Minnesota out of a jam. And then in the 9th, tying run at the plate. But how about this pitch? 101 upstairs, no chance. Minnesota's moving on. They shut out the Jays in Game 2. They win the series 2-0. They'll be heading to the ALDS to take on the Astros. Game 1 scheduled for Friday in Houston.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Kevin McCarthy is out, and now 2 top Republicans are jumping into the race to become the next House Speaker. The House is in recess until next week to give members a chance to cool off, and President Biden is warning Congress to get to work with another potential government shutdown just a month away. CBS News' Naomi Ruckham has the latest from New York.
Just days after House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted, 2 top Republicans, Louisiana Congressman and Majority Leader Steve Scalise and Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, announced bids to replace him.
We need to unite the conference. I think I can do that.
Well, they're 2 good friends. They both would do a great job.
McCarthy has said he won't run, though others could jump in before next week's votes. Now, some angry House Republicans are expressing their frustrations with Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, leader of the charge against McCarthy, and the 7 GOP lawmakers who joined to vote him out.
He's the arsonist who lit the house on fire.
Gaetz faces the possibility of being kicked out of the party,
all 8 may possibly be kicked off committees.
Though Gaetz is not backing down.
The nerve of these establishment Republicans to have to take a week to go have a good cry and then blame us for being the reason that we can't get the work done.
North Carolina Congressman Patrick McHenry is in as interim speaker, but the House is at a standstill until it elects a new speaker, with another possible shutdown looming if Congress doesn't act by November 17th.
We cannot and should not again be faced with an 11th hour decision. Brinksmanship threatens to shut down the government.
Yesterday, President Biden called for an end to the poisonous atmosphere in Washington.
Interim House Speaker Patrick McHenry has evicted former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leader Steny Hoyer from their offices inside the Capitol. Other House Republicans say former Speaker Kevin McCarthy is entitled to that space. Well, Wisconsin's Republican president of the Senate is calling to impeach the state's top elections official. Senate President Chris Kapenga is urging the Assembly to impeach Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf. The Republican-controlled Senate voted last month to fire Wolf, but she's remained in office while Democrats fight against that vote in court. They're arguing the Senate did not have the authority to hold a vote to decide Wolf's fate. In a letter to the Assembly Speaker, Kapenga says Wolf's decision to not leave the position could lead to corrupt conduct in her office, but a recent state Supreme Court decision suggests that there is nothing wrong with Wolf's actions. The ruling appears to allow Wolf to stay in office indefinitely, even though her term expired in July. A Democratic member of the Wisconsin Elections Commission is also caught in the debate over Megan Wolf's future. A Senate subcommittee has voted not to appoint Joe Sarneski to the 6-person commission. Governor Tony Evers appointed Sarneski to finish out Julie Glancy's term after she retired in April. The Republican leading the Senate committee accused Sarneski of dereliction of duty for abstaining in the vote on appointing Megan Wolf. The entire Senate will vote on whether to confirm Sarneski's appointment. The Milwaukee native spent 10 years as a state senator and had also served as Milwaukee County clerk. If his appointment fails, Evers would then appoint another Democrat to maintain the commission's bipartisan split. Governor Evers is asking Republicans in the state Senate for a committee hearing on his workforce development plan. He wants to push a package of bills that would use $1 billion of the state's $4 billion surplus to go toward pandemic-era child care funding. This would include a paid family leave program. He also wants to send money to the UW system and UW-Madison. Evers wants this session to be held as soon as possible, saying that with each day of delay, the state is suffering more consequences. A DMV pilot program has allowed 16 and 17-year-old Wisconsinites to get a driver's license without doing a road test. But that program is going away. Young drivers have until December 31st to apply for the DMV road test waiver program before it comes to an end. The program started in 2020 out of safety concerns during the pandemic. Applicants the last few years still had to complete a driver's ed course behind the wheel training and 50 hours of supervised driving. Murals give cities the chance to show what makes them stand out from the crowd, and the town of Rome is doing just that with its first ever public art mural. The mural covers the town's public works building. It's part of the town's effort to beautify the community by adding more art in the busy parts of town. The mural features famous landmarks, ATVs, golf, deer, and fish. The artist says the mural is a chance for him to step out of his comfort zone.
I do a lot of really vibrant work and a lot of whimsical kind of flowy space things. So it's kind of nice to be able to do a full nature scene that's basically about the town of Rome and a lot of things that they hold dear.
Freeman says this mural should be completed by Sunday. If you want to check it out, it's visible from State Highway 13 in the city of Nekoosa. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, duo. We are watching some clouds moving in from the west this morning, but that's about it. Things are looking dry, but also a little on the cool side, though. Temperatures are currently in the low 50s, 51 in Eau Claire, 52 degrees the temperature now in La Crosse, 50 in Winona, 39 for Black River Falls, and also south into Sparta here this morning, though. As we take a look at the forecast overall today, we're turning 70 degrees this afternoon. Partly cloudy, a little on the cool side, and breezy with the southwest to west wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. As we take you into tonight, temperatures drop to 48 degrees, partly cloudy, so a little cooler out there as well. West winds light at 5 to 10 miles per hour, though. Your mowing forecast looks like this. We start off partly cloudy, 52 degrees. By noon, lots of sun, 67, and then mostly sunny at 5 o'clock, 67 being the temperature. So a nice day to mow the lawn if you haven't yet already. We do have some rain chances in the forecast tomorrow. We're going to talk about that coming up on our last check on your full weather forecast after the break. And also coming up in our Buzz Report, a new Apple TV show will follow 5 American friends through the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of 1870s London. We'll give you a sneak peek of the Buccaneers in just a couple of minutes. Well, skies are looking nice and clear this morning from CityCam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Here's a look at those current conditions now. 52 degrees in at La Crosse. South winds at around 3 miles an hour. That river stage currently coming in at 5.23 feet, and it's currently rising this morning. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, you're also looking on the clear side. Temperatures here for you at 51 degrees. South-southwest winds at around 5 miles an hour. Satellite and radar picture looking quiet here as well. Watching some clouds back towards the west that's currently moving in our general direction. Here's a look at the bigger picture, and you can see this cold front back towards the east of us now. This was the same front that moved through the day yesterday that brought us some slightly cooler conditions for us to work with this morning and also for today as well. You can see the associated cloud cover and rain showers back to the east of us. We weren't necessarily dealing with the rain yesterday too much, but more so the clouds, which again is now positioned to our east. Here's this next system. It's a low pressure system, and you can see that cold front associated with it as well. This is our next cold front that's going to be moving into the area later today to help bring us our next big cool down. You're going to notice a big temperature difference as we head into tomorrow and through this weekend that could even last into early next week. We'll get to that in a second. 67 degrees is going to be our temperature at noon today with lots of sunshine. And then we're up to 70 with sunny conditions at 4 o'clock. Still the forecast there. Clear skies, 60 degrees as we wrap up the day as we head into early this evening. And check out these forecast high numbers this afternoon. Upper 60s for the Chippewa Valley, including Eau Claire. You'll be at 67. 70 will be our high temperature this afternoon if you're in the La Crosse area. So here's that front moving through the Coulee region on Sky Tracker as we head into the early afternoon hours. Right around 12 o'clock, I'm thinking it should pass on through there. And in the wake of that front, maybe a few clouds moving in from the west, slight chance of a shower possible across portions of northern Wisconsin, also into northern and central Minnesota. And some of those showers may clip portions of the area as we head into overnight tonight, but I'm thinking a lot of them should remain roughly to the north. We'll keep our eyes on some of those developing showers, though, back towards the west, because as they continue to develop, they are forecast, at least from the models, latest trends that is, to continue to move into the Coulee region as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So that's why we are thinking that we could have some better rain chances on the way to end the work week. And then after that, I think we'll be in the clear by Friday evening or so as those rain showers will clear from the area. Here's a look at Saturday, first half of the weekend. A couple of showers possible across our eastern communities with some cloud cover developing back towards the west, which could spread across the area. Maybe some slight chances of showers across portions of our western communities by Saturday night. A check on your 8-day forecast showing that we will be looking at highs around 54, wet and gloomy for tomorrow. As we head into this weekend, a little bit drier, partly to mostly cloudy conditions, highs in the 50s into early next week Monday, and then we start to see our highs warm up a little bit further into the 60s starting Tuesday.
In our morning Buzz report, the writer's strike may be over, but Drew Barrymore is still feeling the heat over her decision to resume production on her show. The 3 head writers for her talk show, The Drew Barrymore Show, have all reportedly declined to return. Barrymore announced her intention to resume production in September in spite of the ongoing strike. She received backlash from the WGA and later walked the decision back.
Is this really happening?
Well, you know, who are we without a homicide?
Hulu has announced that it will renew Only Murders in the Building for a 4th season. The popular and critically acclaimed series follows a group of neighbors in an upscale New York City building who investigate murders on their true crime podcast. The show stars Selena Gomez, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. Notable guests have included Tina Fey, Paul Rudd, and Meryl Streep. Only Murders in the Building Season 4 will come out in summer of 2024.
Girls, here is to marriages, men, parties. Not particularly in that order. But darlings, we always come first.
Apple TV has released the trailer for its upcoming show, The Buccaneers. Based on an unfinished Edith Wharton novel, the show follows a group of American girls who travel to London in the 1870s. Although it's set during the 19th century, The Buccaneers features a 21st century soundtrack with hits from artists like Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift. The Buccaneers comes out on Apple TV Plus on November 8th. And speaking of Taylor Swift, it's another headline. The singer is dominating the cultural moment, filling concert venues, hotels, and football stadiums with her fans. And now she's winning in movie theaters too. According to Cinemark, the concert film Taylor Swift The Eras Tour is already setting domestic pre-sale records. The theater chain says demand for the film is, quote, 10 times higher than any other movie it's released. Taylor Swift The Eras Tour opens in theaters October 13th.
Taylor Swift news. There we go. Do is all pumped and ready.
I'm pumped. I'll be at the movie premiere.
Of course, because I wouldn't expect anything less.
No, she announced it and I logged in and was like,
you were just like, I'm getting my tickets. Yep, here we go.
That's exactly what happened.
You were probably the first buyer.
You know what? Actually, there were only like 20 people in line in front of me.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so you weren't the very first one.
I wasn't the very first,
That
but I
means
was
that you were
definitely
not
up
the
there.
#1 fan, dude. I'm disappointed.
That's not true. I was working here.
Oh,
okay.
Excuses.
No, I couldn't pull out my phone and be like, sorry guys, gotta stop the broadcast. I gotta buy these tickets.
I think fans would understand, or viewers would understand, right?
Oh man.
Because I think by now they know that you're a Taylor
Yes.
Swift fan. So.
Taylor Swift fanatic.
Taylor Swift fanatic. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, she is coming out with another album.
Now the question is, are you going to be the first to buy the album?
I will be the first to stream it. I don't. This is really bad, but I don't buy albums. I just go on to
just go on the
Spotify and just listen to them.
Yeah.
I would buy the album if I had like a listening device. I think eventually when I get a CD player or a vinyl.
CD player? Who uses CD players anymore?
My parents still have one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my car still has a CD player.
My dad's does too.
Yep.
He went to get a new car and he asked where the CD player was. And
they looked at
the
him funny, right?
salesperson
What are
was
you talking
like,
about?
they don't make those anymore in cars.
It's just like when they got rid of cassettes. Remember?
Exactly.
You know, it's the same
Yes.
way. So.
Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
Well, sadly, there are no birthdays today. If you are celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. Make sure you submit it next time.
Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. The investigation into the Chippewa County Sheriff centered on a harassment complaint from a now former employee. The investigation also found that Sheriff Hakes has routinely displayed a lack of integrity in his role. A former employee filed a complaint against him this summer, claiming he sent inappropriate and unwanted messages to her. The report has pages of message screenshots. During one conversation about birds, Hakes texted the woman, "I think you'd be the best person for the job." The former employee said a text from Hakes started making her feel uncomfortable. Quote, "Remember when I said I know spots to relax? This is my yard." Hakes has said he was only trying to be welcoming to a new employee. He also said on social media he was never aware of a complaint filed against him. But a county official says Hakes was notified 6 separate times about it. The report also details claims from other department members and county officials that the sheriff is, quote, in over his head, and that the chief deputy is the one really running the sheriff's office. The report also found instances of Hakes conducting his private real estate and gun businesses during his sheriff's hours. The suspect behind an Eau Claire bank robbery is now in custody. 25-year-old Maxwell Lubick has been taken into custody by the Wisconsin State Patrol. On Tuesday, police released photos of the armed robber at a Wisconsin credit union. Police say Lubeck entered the credit union with a handgun and demanded money from employees. Police released the warrant for Lubeck's arrest a little after 11 yesterday morning. He was arrested by State Patrol on Highway 53 near Superior about 30 minutes later. A DMV pilot program has allowed 16 and 17-year-old Wisconsinites to get a driver's license without doing a road test. But that program is going away. Young drivers have until December 31st to apply for the DMV road test waiver program before it comes to an end. The program started in 2020 out of safety concerns during the pandemic. Applicants the last few years still had to complete a driver's ed course behind the wheel training and 50 hours of supervised driving. Spring Grove schools are looking for some additional funding. The school district is asking voters to approve 2 referendum questions on November 7th. The first question asks for $12 million to improve heating, ventilation, windows, and the roof of the school building. The second question asks for $4 million to build a new tech education lab. The second question depends on the first question passing. The school superintendent says they are asking for money now because the community has indicated they would support the project. There will be 2 informational sessions in October. We have that information on our website, news8000.com. Murals give cities the chance to show what makes them stand out from the crowd, and the town of Rome is doing just that with its first ever public art mural. The mural covers the town's public works building. It's part of the town's effort to beautify the community by adding more art in the busy parts of town. The mural features famous landmarks, ATVs, golf, deer, and fish. The artist says the mural is a chance for him to step out of his comfort zone.
I do a lot of really vibrant work and a lot of whimsical kind of flowy space things. So it's kind of nice to be able to do a full nature scene that's basically about the town of Rome and a lot of things that they hold dear.
Freeman says this mural should be complete by Sunday. If you want to go check it out, it is visible from State Highway 13 in the city of Nakusa. A reminder that this is the 4th day of Lacrosse's Week Without Driving Challenge. The challenge raises awareness for people that don't have the option of driving. Today you can get a free ride on SMRT buses. You can also get 1 free hour on a drift cycle bike using the code WWD2023.
And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures will be into the 50s between now through at least 9 o'clock this morning with a couple of passing clouds. But then temperatures start warming up into the 60s as we head into this afternoon with highs into the upper 60s, low 70s, lots of sunshine, and overall a seasonable day. A little bit of a breeze out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Check on your 8-day forecast showing that tomorrow looking a little bit more on the gloomy side, rain showers along with much cooler temperatures, highs in the 50s. A little bit drier for the weekend. Highs remain in the 50s though through early next week on Monday. Then we start to warm up into the 60s starting Tuesday. So yeah, definitely more like fall weather now. And you know, when we wake up in the morning, we got 30s and 40s. So coming
that's
up.
Chilly.
Yeah, it's gonna get cool out there.
Well, I mean, it's definitely starting to look a lot like fall around La Crosse because the trees, I mean, they've completely changed colors and there's so many leaves on the ground. It's beautiful.
It's looking gorgeous out there. It's one of my favorite times of the year here.
Mine too. It's my favorite season.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. What's yours?
I'm more of a summer guy, but I do like the fall colors, though. I'll give you that.
That's such a Florida answer.
I know, but I can't stand the cold weather, though. You know, as soon as we hit November, it's just all downhill.
Have you acclimated to the cold weather?
You know, honestly, surprisingly, I have. People were like, oh, you'll get used to it, you'll get used to it. I'm just like rolling my eyes, no, I'm not.
But you did.
But actually, I did, yeah. I walk outside of 30s, oh, okay, not too bad. It's just when it gets in the teens.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now. Have a wonderful Thursday.